All right. Well, good morning, everyone. It's another fantastic Monday morning here at Health Plan Markets, and we are off and running. As a reminder, our mission here is to serve those that serve others. That is you, and we wake up every day, every weekday anyway, to do what we can to ensure that we're delivering quality service for you, so you can turn around and do that for your clients. If we are missing the mark, please let us know. Send us an email at support@askhpm.com, and we will do anything we can to ensure that we get back on track in your mind. But also, if you catch a HPM employee doing something amazing, please send them a shout out too. I think the world is like in this negative mindset. So if an HPM team member has helped you and you feel pretty good about it, just send a quick note over to support@askhpm.com. We love to share that with the team, because life is about wins, not always the losses. So we appreciate that feedback, good, bad, and ugly. We'll take it all, but don't forget about the good, because these guys work really hard at making sure that we keep you guys happy. So just want to lead with that. Today is December 1st. Can you guys believe it? We're in December, right? And it is the last proper week of AEP 2026. And we're going to talk about how you're going to close out this week and make sure that you finish the season strong here at HPM. And what I've noticed too is that, because we're in season, I understand, this is going to be a very, very busy week. We see this spike that happens, this week, it's going to really go off. And we're going to talk about follow-up as reminders of things that you guys should be doing to close out this week strong and to ensure that you know what's coming, for the next 3 weeks. Because even though December 7th marks the end of AEP officially, there are lots and lots of opportunities to continue to sell as you're out there and moving along. So with that, I do want to share the training calendar with you guys, because training is still a thing here at HPM. We want to continue to deliver on that. So I'm going to share my screen here. There we go. All right, just give me a thumbs up if you guys can see the screen okay, just making sure. I never want to assume that. Yep, got a thumbs up. Thanks, guys. All right, so training for the week, as we normally do. Our training is located under learning. So you're going to click left, and then we've got the training calendar here. You're going to click there. And in that training calendar, I like to set it to week, and then you can see exactly what's happening this week. As a general rule, guys, I'd like to say, pick one training. If you just do one training per week, you have 52 opportunities to get better. 52 opportunities. You put in 52 hours of work learning a new craft. And they say as experts, you should have 10,000 hours under your belt before you become a bona fide expert. So think about that, like the magnitude of what you have to do in order to develop your craft. So this week, we've got a few trainings. There are some things on the calendar I want to make you guys aware of, even though it's the last working week of AEP. If you can find time to do a training, it's never a waste of time. I can promise you that. UHC, Find and Engage Consumers. That is today at noon. Devoted's doing a Give Back and CSNP training as well. These are going to be important, the CSNP especially, because you can use this as an SEP for the rest of the year. You'll still have 3 weeks of daylight to help people out. Also on Tuesday the 2nd, we've got Devoted Navigating 2026 Special Needs Plans. Again, those special needs plans allow for folks to enroll year-round. We've got our very own Al Clancy. He is available for a virtual coffee and chat session on Wednesday, December 3rd from 9:30 to 10:30. Come on in, and he will guide you on what you need to be doing to be successful in this business. Devoted is going through sales strategies, how to overcome objections. If you're finding yourself getting stumped by some clients, this is a great training for you. That's Wednesday at 11. Thursday, United Healthcare is going through the 2026 Part D program. You should be able to explain the 2026 Part D program to your clients. If you cannot do that yet, questions about HPM Shop from 9 to 10. We also see that UHC is doing a member retention training 9:30 to 10:30 on Friday, December 5th. And then they're also doing the SSBCI training for 2026. That's at 1 o'clock on Friday. If you're shaking on any of those topics and you need a little bit of TLC, remember, guys, this is time well spent. Time well spent, learning your craft and ensuring that you understand these topics, because you will need to talk to your clients about these. Okay. If you don't know these topics, it's going to be real hard for you to continue doing what you're doing. So also, while I'm here on HQ, I want to share with you guys, I'm very excited to share with you guys the AEP contest for 2026 is live. Thank you guys for your patience. I know last year we kind of had it up early, but we did get it here. AEP 2026 contest is live, so it lives under commissions. So you're going to click commissions, and then the AEP 2026 contest is here. If you remember, we're going to St. Lucia in May or June of 2026. We are listing the top 15 agents for 2026 on the points. Now, please keep in mind, these are preliminary points. Okay, the dust hasn't settled yet. The fat lady has not sung. Okay, so don't panic. And it's just the top 15 based on what we're looking at. These numbers are live as of last year or as of last week. I don't know when we're going to be updating them. So Mike, maybe you can post in the chat if it's going to be weekly or when that looks like as we're processing applications throughout AEP. So congratulations to those folks that I would say pretty much already made the trip here. Remember, you need to have 60 points in order to get onto the plane to St. Lucia. It's a 5-day adventure that we're having in the Caribbean. And remember, here's a pro tip that the team has put here. Remember, 70 to 80 points is really where you want to land preliminarily, because you may have some plan changes, chargebacks, things like that. We don't want you to get disqualified and miss by a few points there. And so, shoot for 70 to 80 points is really where you want to be at. Again, even though this is the last week, it doesn't mean that it's over. You do have opportunities to continue to sell throughout the rest of the year. I made a video to go through all the details on this as well, so you can click this video and play it through. I just figured that I'd go through this as well. And here's the points in the tiers here. You've got 60 points to get on the trip, 85 points for a balcony upgrade. If you got 115 points, you can bring somebody with you. And then over 160 points, you got a super sweet upgrade. So really, really nice. We had one person or two people hit that last year, so that was really cool. The overview, again, all plans are 1 point. They must be January 1st effectives. All the instructions are here down and the rules of how this contest works. And remember, it's got to be on HPM Shop. Unless the carrier or that specific plan is not available, then you will need to submit that application down here on the bottom. So if you had to write, for instance, an Ultimate is a health plan that's not on HPM Shop. If you had to write an Ultimate, please make sure that you submit your applications here. If you forgot if you submitted it or not, just submit it again, and the team will filter out duplicates. So don't worry about that. We're going to filter out duplicates to make sure that, we all have the right amount of points here. So don't forget to submit those. That's what's going on. If you have any questions about the contest or any concerns about it, just email us at support@askhpm.com. I do want to recognize some folks that look like they made the trip already, because they're over about 70 points already or over. Congratulations to Sue Lee, Eduviga Irani, Maria Moran, Gloria Gutierrez, Monica Stanley, and Liz Caballero. Those folks look like they've got enough buffer there to make the trip, but don't slow down. Remember, you've got some other things here. You can do a balcony upgrade, bring your friends, and then, if you've got enough juice in there, you can hit that super sweet upgrade. So again, we'll try to update these at least once a week. And I'm going to stop here and just check the chat to see if we have any questions here. So good morning to everybody. Appreciate you guys being on the call. Kelly is reminding us that the disaster SEP is still available. One thing that I would keep in mind, guys, is that the disaster SEP is only specific to carrier. Not every single carrier accepts the disaster SEPs. So just check with that carrier to ensure that that disaster SEP is available. Okay, like the hurricanes and things like that. Thank you for the reminder, Kelly. Rosie, if you're not seeing yourself, remember this is only the top 15 agents with points shown. So again, you can shoot Mike an email or support at Ask HPM an email for your preliminary points. Again, I think they updated it last week, so we'll go ahead and go through it on there as well. Cindy is saying the trip is scheduled for May 29th through June 4th. So those are the 5 days there, May 29th through June 4th. Mike, if you can lock that in on the top of the contest, if you can get one of the boys to update that, appreciate that, man. Okay, so that's the contest. It's here. There it is. Also, reminder here that the team has put in the ACA bonus program as well. If you haven't seen that, this is for 2026. These are all the known bonuses for ACA. So you can go through there, click the information, and learn more about each of the bonus programs that we're aware of on ACA across the country. Okay, so you can check that out when it comes to HQ. All right. All right. So today, for the remainder of the call, I want to talk about what you should be doing for the rest of this week. Okay. First of all, I want to say that we have 50 attendees on this call right now. Great job, guys. I know you guys are all busy. I really appreciate you guys being on this call this morning. Again, we're going to continue to remind you about these calls. This will happen every week and throughout. So, the holidays are coming. Because of how the holidays fall, I'll continue to do these calls. I don't think we'll miss one throughout the holidays because it's kind of like in the middle there. So just keep that posted. Again, if you run into somebody, an HPM associate, an agent that is like, hey, what happened to the Monday calls? Make sure that they have this new link because the new link started about 2 weeks ago. So we want to make sure that they've got that. Mike has posted, AEP contest will be updated weekly. For any status updates, please email support. So thanks again for the reminder. Again, you may be missing points just because, you wrote it outside of shop. We do know that there's a couple of instances where that is necessary. So again, if that happens, make sure that you report those apps right there. You go back to commissions, AEP contest, and then you will see down at the bottom that you can report those apps right here. So it's just a quick little form there to punch those in. Okay. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate the help on that. All right. So let's talk about, I'm going to stop sharing here for a minute and I'm going to yak at you guys. Here we go. All right. Let's talk about, and I wrote some notes here. Let's talk about follow-up. This is a big one, guys. This is a week that you really need to make sure that you are following up with your clients. Okay. So you have 3 main priorities this week. Okay. Some of you are running and gunning. You got appointments. You're ready to go. And we appreciate that. But this is the week that you want to absolutely make sure of 3 things. The first is confirm your clients are enrolled properly. If you have any doubts whatsoever, if you feel like something seems off, if you can spend a few minutes going through each one of your applications and ensuring that you have a confirmation number on HPM Shop, okay? Because we've seen a few of them that slip through the cracks, like somebody forgot to press the submit button, or you sent out the link and they never clicked it. So make sure that your folks are properly enrolled. If you did 50 apps, check 10 of them a day until Friday, and you should be up to speed, right? If you have time to set aside an hour or two, it's time well spent, because I've had agents that went through it and they found 2 or 3 apps that they were like, ooh, man, that would have been a problem. So I would say definitely make sure that your clients are enrolled properly. You want to try to catch the folks that, they meant to call, but they never did. Okay. They'll say, hey, I'll call you back, or hey, my house is on fire, or, you know, my dog ate my homework, whatever it was that they're like, hey, I can't talk to you right now. Go back through those people and say, hey, just a reminder, I've got, you know, we've got one week left and that's it. You know, what are we doing here? Because they're going to blame you. Everybody does that. They're going to blame you. Well, you never called me back, you know, or they're going to scramble, or they're going to see an ad on TV, and then that's the end of it. You lost your client. So you don't want to do that, right? And then the third thing is protect your book. Protect it from surprises. Look at your rapid disenrollments. If there was any misunderstandings about, you know, some of the clients that might be calling you right now, if you had some of those clients that just did, like, they signed up, but they're still like kind of fuzzy on things, make sure you just touch base with them. Those are the ones that cause you issues. Check duplicates, check wrong plans. Make sure that, you know, when you're going through and doing the confirmations, that you remember, hey, this client wanted this plan for this reason. Okay. So again, this is the week that, you know, these small little details matter the most. Okay. Because you're going to win big. You're going to feel a lot more secure in locking down your AEP. Okay. All right. So top priorities. What do you need to do, you know, to start your day every day for this week? Okay. So I want to go through that really quick. Anyone that you quoted but never called you back and you never enrolled. So if you sent out quotes, or you talked to them, or you and they're like, hey, I got to talk to whoever. Anyone that said, hey, call me after Thanksgiving. Well, there's only a week left. And let me just say this from a sales, you know, psychology point of view. Deadlines matter. Okay. In marketing, in your sales, the only way people take action is if you give them a deadline. Okay. So I hate AEP December 7th, because I hate that we have such a short amount of time, but I love that there's a deadline. Because if there wasn't a deadline, people would say, yeah, I'll do it later. But when you create a deadline, it creates this lock that they have to close in their mind. Like, I got to get this done before December 7th. So it allows you to legally, ethically put a little bit of pressure on your clients to say, hey, look, you know, we only have until Sunday, and I'm not working Sunday, so let's get this done on Friday, right? Anyone who picked a plan but hasn't gone through HPM Shop yet, so maybe they picked out a plan, they told you what they wanted, but you haven't enrolled them yet. Any past clients that might have received new plan info and are confused. So if they're already getting books and they're confused, you probably want to call them back. And then anyone that has a chronic condition, I'm going to talk about this in a minute, because that's really kind of a December 8th play. I would wait to, you know, kind of push that if you can, because if you know for sure that they have a chronic condition, then you can use that as an SEP December 8th and still get them enrolled for January 1st. Okay. Same thing with Medis. So people that have Medicaid, LIS, that extra help, if they haven't made a selection yet, you can kind of push them off until after December 8th, and you can still get them enrolled. Okay. But those are the ones that are going to have, you know, big issues there. So those are your top priorities as far as like where you want to be targeting your follow-up right now, and making sure that you've got that done. Now, kind of in the middle of your follow-up here, these are kind of less important group of people. You know, all the clients that did enroll, just do a quick mini check-in, you know, especially those folks that kind of felt like they were on the fence, or maybe you had to kind of really hard sell them, or maybe you had to follow up quite a bit. Check in, say, hey, I got your confirmation number. Did you get your plan books yet? You know, those sensitive ones are probably the ones you want to touch, you know, after you've gone through that first list. Anyone that opened your text but never responded. So on the iPhone, Android, you can see who's read their text or not. You know, if you want to be a creep like that, you know, make sure that you follow up with them. Probably if they're not, you know, responding to text, go ahead and call them. Some people are bad at texting. Some people are bad at phone calls. I mean, it does happen, right? And then if there was any family members of your clients that were there, maybe asked questions, were interested, but never took action, like, you know, maybe the husband was listening in, or the wife was listening in, or the brother was listening in, or they mentioned these people and you just never had the time to follow up with these folks, I would say go ahead and call them and say, hey, whatever happened, you know, you sure you want to stay on that plan? I got 1 week left. I can help you out. So that sense of urgency really does move the needle sometimes. I highly recommend that as well. And then low priority lists. If you had any lead lists that you haven't called yet, that you haven't started that, I would go ahead and, go through all of these things. Okay. If you have a list of people that maybe you did events and you never got to, go ahead and start calling them, again, after you've covered all your clients and that low hanging fruit, if you will. You want to try to get them on the hook for an appointment this week. Okay. So those are the priority orders. Let me pause really quick to make sure that I don't have any questions or anything going on here. Sense of urgency. Ramilda saying the date format is wrong. It won't let you submit the correct format. Where they say my agency view is not working in HQ. Okay, sending tickets. Okay, yeah, thanks guys. If you see something wrong, that's the best way to do it. Just make sure that you email support at askhpm.com. Screenshots are great. Even better if you could do like a video. I know some of you guys know how to do the video shots, and then you can kind of walk through the issue. That's even better. We love that. But yeah, just shoot an email, support at askhpm.com. We appreciate that. Okay. So I've got a few scripts that I'm going to share with you guys that I put together that I think might be super helpful. So let me pull these up. All right. So here's a 30-second script that you can use. Very simple. I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm going to go through it really quick. All right. So I'm going to do a quick call here. Hey, it's Justin with Healthline Markets, just doing my last week check-in for AEP. I want to make sure that your Medicare plan for next year is exactly what you wanted before everything locks in this Sunday, December 7th. Do you have 2 minutes to confirm you're all set? And then if they're not sure, say no problem, that's what I'm here for. Let's look at your doctors, your meds, your benefits. Quick, we can do this really quick, okay? If they've already enrolled with you and you're talking to them, you just say, perfect, I'll confirm your enrollment went through and send you a text with my contact information if they don't already have it. You're taken care of. A lot of people just love a quick phone call, a quick confirmation. It lowers that buyer's remorse in their mind. They feel more confident going into the year. They're not going to make anything big changes because that's how you build trust, guys. The more you talk to them. If you're just a wham bam, I'm out of here, ma'am, then you're not going to build a relationship like that, right? So again, do you guys remember the 10, 30, 60, 90-day campaigns? Okay. Or some do 3, 30, 60, 90 days. And you're going to call or text on day 10, day 30, day 60, and day 90. Okay. You should be doing this anyway, but that really locks in your retention with that member, because at the end of it, maybe you've called them 2 times for the appointment. You did the appointment. So that's already 3 touches. And then you're touching them 4 times after. You've locked in 7 interactions with your client. And I know it seems like a lot, but like, this is the stuff that matters. This is what separates the pros from everyone else. That's how you build relationships. If you think you have a relationship with a person you met 1 time, no, you need to build relationships. You need to have interactions with them. It could be a text. It could be a call. It could be an email. You can add them on Facebook. I've heard agents that add their friends on or their clients on Facebook. If that's, if you're bold enough to do those types of things, you can definitely do that. So that's like, you're picking up the phone, you're calling them. That's one thing that you can do. Another one, I've got some text templates and put that in the chat here for you. So let's do a text template here. Here's a check-in text. I'm gonna drop this in here. Ooh. That didn't work. Hold on. There we go. All right. And you can text this. It's a little bit shorter and it's a quick read. Just, right where it say it's, make sure that you put your name in there too. And then, that's just another quick template you could swipe and use as well. You guys can make your own templates as far as how that goes, but just figured I'd help you guys out. Here's one thing, a good practice, a good habit that you should be in anyway. call this the daily power hour. Okay, your daily power hour. You should every day 60 minutes. Okay, I'm going to challenge you guys to do this week. 60 minutes, because you guys are probably thinking like, when am I going to do this stuff? Okay, when you time block, when you put it on your calendar, when you write it in your schedule, you're going to say 60 minutes, no distractions, no scrolling. You're going to put your phone on airplane mode, no admin work, no emails popping up, all the notification bells off. Okay, and you're going to get to work. Here's a challenge. Here's a challenge. Okay, in this 1 hour, the 60-minute sprint, try to do 50 phone calls or 50 messages in 60 minutes, or a combination. 50 phone calls, 60 or 50 messages within 60 minutes. This is a challenge. Okay, try it. See what it does to your calendar, because if you call and you start connecting with these people, it's like that flywheel effect, guys. You have to kind of run to push this thing to get it started. And the more that you spin it and it starts to go, the busier you're going to get. When you stop spinning it, it'll start slowing down again, right? But if you keep that flywheel kind of spinning, right, you just spin it. Like if you remember as a kid on the merry-go-round, it was really hard to push that merry-go-round to get it started. But once it started, all you needed to do was like a quick swipe to keep that thing rolling, keep that thing moving at the speed that it was going. So the first day or two, this might be a little awkward or wonky, but it's hard to do. You know, the other one that I mentioned is the 10-10-10, which may be a little bit more challenging, is try to do 10 phone calls, 10 text messages, and 10 emails before 10 a.m. And these are outgoing, not responding. Okay. So sending out 10 text messages, 10 text messages, 10 emails, and calling 10 people before 10 a.m. You know, I probably wouldn't start calling them at 6 a.m. But most of you have phones that you can schedule text messaging to, so you can kind of do a little bit of a cheat code. Same thing with emails, you know. But this is the flywheel that I'm talking about to kind of keep that going. So if you're wondering, like, how am I going to reach all these people, you can kind of stagger it out, if you will, using tech. If you need help with this kind of stuff, we're happy to help, and you know, just get with a team member and we can kick it out for you. All right. Let's talk about some common last minute situations and how you should handle them this week, because they do happen. Maybe they're calling you, or you connect with them and they're still a little bit confused. Remember, guys, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Okay. Something you can say to them is, you know, let's take a few minutes and let's fix it now. Let's make sure that you're absolutely, you know, clear in your mind exactly what you need to be doing. Maybe they, you know, another situation, maybe they thought they enrolled, but they didn't. You know, if they're calling you because they haven't gotten their card, that's a red flag, guys. Make sure that you're checking on that. It does happen. It does happen. They think they enrolled, but they didn't. You know, you send them the enrollment link and you moved on to the next person and they never clicked it. Check on those people. Okay. Again, you can jump into HPM shop. You should be able to look at that. Again, if you need help with that, shoot an email over to support@askhpm.com and we can help you with that. And then if they say they want to wait, this is where that deadline comes in. Like, hey, you can wait all you want, but on December 7th, that's it. You're stuck with what you got, you know? So just make sure that they know that. You know, if they do qualify for the CSNP plans or the DSNP plans, you could push them over to December 8th and they still might have an opportunity to enroll. And then, you know, what we often see is, you know, these guys like to talk to each other as well. So a client might call you back and say, hey, you know, my sister enrolled in this plan on TV and she's getting this, this, and this. So you got to be able to explain that, you know, although your sister might have enrolled in the same carrier, the benefits and plan information varies by county, especially by state, because a lot of these people live in different states. So you want to make sure that you're customizing their experience with their doctors and their meds and their benefits and what they're looking for. So try to remember them that they shouldn't be comparing all that. Okay. And make sure you've got their data right, guys. We want to make sure that they have that, moving in the right direction, because that's where the mistakes happen. You put in the wrong doctor and then you're going to hear about it. So last thing I just want to share with you guys is a 5-minute reset at the end of the day. Your reset, if you do that 60-minute sprint or you try the 10-10-10, to really bump up your numbers, that 5-minute reset can help as well. So review your list, review the leads that you're going to call in the next day, or go through the list that you thought you should have done. If you didn't get to them, move them for the next day and make sure that you get to them. Any open item goes, bubbles it to the top, right? Send those text messages or schedule those text messages. If you're going to do that power hour, when are you going to be doing it? If you're going to do the 10-10-10, set that side of time. If you want to schedule those texts out, you can do it the night before. I think that's cool. And then lastly, return voicemails. Return the voicemails. People left you a message, check your voicemail. 2 reasons. Number 1, you might have a sale in there and they're just waiting for you to call back. And number 2, if your voicemail is full, they can't leave you a message. That's a red flag in people's minds. Like, whoa, I can't even leave a message? Some people are smart enough to text you, which is great, but clear out your voicemail. I mean, it sounds like pretty rudimentary, but it's amazing how many people forget to clear out their voicemail, okay? All right, I got one in the chat here. Gail says, clients received PDP plans, make sure your plan is after the PDP plan. Oh, right. So yeah, PDPs can bump out your selection if they got enrolled after the fact. Remember, it's last app wins in AEP, last app wins. So if somebody comes behind you and enrolls them, or they call one of these boneheads on a call center, then, remember, last app wins in AEP, okay? So sometimes there's dirty tactics on that. Be careful. Just get them locked in. Make sure you double check, triple check this week, and make sure that gets going. Okay. December 8th through December 31st, you still have opportunities. We talked about CSNP plans, DSNP plans. You have a 5-star plan in some areas. Folks in Florida, you guys you have devoted in certain pockets, 5-star plan. Don't use that plan until you have nothing else, or don't use the 5-star designation until you have nothing else, because you can only use it one time. The CSNP you can only use one time. Dave's reminded me, clients who had plans cancel. Yes, exactly. And another thing too is if they do cancel and for whatever reason they didn't get back to you, and the plan actually cancels, you have a 60-day SEP as well, but they won't be effective on the 1st of January 1st. It'll be 1st of the following month. Okay. And Gail's saying that plans that are leaving CMS or their plans have terminated entirely, and I know which one you're talking about, Sonder in Georgia, they're automatically enrolling them in a Part D plan because they don't want them to have a penalty. So that is happening. Great catch, Gail. Make sure that you guys are checking back with your clients and they are enrolling. Another great thing, if you haven't done it, is setting up your clients with a Medicare account. Medicare.gov account. They can set up their Medicare.gov account. You can help them do that, and they can see all of their plan history and which plan they're actually enrolled in without calling CMS and waiting on the phone. Okay. So just another little tip for you guys to work that. So I hope that this has been helpful for you guys. Give me a thumbs up if you're still alive and listening. And if you enjoyed the content for today, if it was helpful, we really appreciate that. Thank you for the thumbs up. Loving that. There was one here in the chat here. Starting when can we use the end of AEP's SEP, since AEP ends on the weekend? It's December 7th. That's the deadline, buddy. It's December 7th. That is all we've got, even though it's a Sunday. Apps have to be turned in. If you have a paper app, for whatever reason, they have to be turned in the next day. But everyone should absolutely make sure that you're using Shop so you don't lose any of that. So Thank you guys. I really appreciate this. Dave is also reminding government thinks we should work weekends and holidays. Yeah, I know, right, Dave? I mean, some of us do anyway, so they're not too wrong, but maybe they should try it. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys for being on this call. We'll continue these throughout AEP and the rest of the year. This is our last one for AEP. I just wanted to hit you guys with that follow-up, and then we'll go through and clean up what's left next week. So until then, have a very, very productive end of AEP week, and I hope you guys are very successful. We'll see you next week. Take care.